As technology further develops and humans gain new abilities with said developments, the chances of total global annihilation and the end of our species becomes a very real and looming possibility. Analysing possible causes for the end of the world can then not only help to prepare us for certain eventualities, but give us the time necessary to even entirely prevent certain disasters from ever taking place. Here, at Unexplained Mysteries, we have looked into the most probable causes for the end of the world and have gathered the most realistic predictions on how humans might face their end in the hopes of discovering answers and making people more aware of these dangers. So today, we will be going over 5 highly probable predictions about how the world will end. Global warming. It is no surprise that issues surrounding climate change have been so prevalent in the mainstream media, given the potential for catastrophe it can cause for the entirety of the planet. The problem with the media coverage of global warming, however, is the focus on the political aspect of the issues and the politicizing of science and industry to make changes regarding CO2 emissions and fossil fuels. This is, unfortunately, a hopeless endeavour. It is overwhelmingly known that CO2 emission, though originally a major factor in the issue of climate change, is not alone as an acting greenhouse gas. In fact, natural water vapours and methane is a far more pressing issue regarding climate change than CO2 emissions alone. This is due to the fact that as temperatures have increased on the planet, this has caused more water vapours from the ocean to form, which in turn create more heat and more vapours, causing a snowball effect of greenhouse gases. Additionally, the agriculture industry is responsible for the majority of methane produced via the large population of cows on the planet to be consumed. There are over 1 billion cows constantly digesting and releasing methane into the air that is responsible for more trapped heat compared to CO2 emissions by an additional 18%. Now, many people just assume that by just reducing these emissions, we can stop the global warming issue altogether, but this is far from the truth. Many climate change experts compare the analogy to that of a car speeding towards a canyon. Reducing the speed will help to buy more time for a more permanent solution, but until the speed is at zero, we were still racing towards the end. Even if the emissions are dropped by 99%, given the fact that water vapours in the atmosphere are continuing to grow each and every year, the situation of our planet will continue to decline as well. Considering a 100% reduction of fossil fuels, including methane caused by cows and CO2 caused by industry, seems to be an absolute impossibility. Efforts to prevent global warming seem fruitless. Within the next 100 years, the damage could be so bad that many species of plants used in agriculture will become completely extinct. Pandemic mutations from space. Not many people are aware of the dangers of disease and the horrifying mutations that appear annually that can have dramatic effects on a disease impact against a larger population. Take, for example, influenza, also known as the common flu. Influenza mutates and changes once a year, causing a new vaccine to be created annually just to keep up with its rate of mutation. Despite these constant efforts made, 700,000 people are sent to the hospital every year in critical condition, and an average of 49,000 deaths are reported annually from just the flu alone. These numbers are only expected to get worse as the rate of mutation of a disease continues to grow rapidly as new drugs are introduced and the immunities of our species are weakened every year. In fact, the top epidemiologists around the world were reported in a study that claimed that 90% of these experts expected a pandemic to occur within the next 100 years that will infect more than 1 billion people, cause more than 165 million deaths, and destroy the global economy, causing the worst recession ever recorded. These figures are only made worse when taking transportation into account, rising rates of population, growing cities, and confined spaces and budget cuts made to organisations such as the World Health Organization and the Centre for Disease Control. New research, however, admits that these factors are merely the tip of the iceberg. When NASA conducted research regarding bacterial growth of salmonella in space, they found that for some strange reason, bacteria became far more dangerous after a spaceflight. Growing unrestricted in anti-gravity allowed the bacteria to become far more potent in nearly all regard, even when compared to lower doses to the same bacteria on Earth. Normally, this would not be an issue to the general population, as astronauts are prepared and diagnosed before entering space to ensure that they are not carrying any types of bacteria or diseases with them. Unfortunately, due to Elon Musk's efforts to create a commercial type of spaceflight available to all consumers without many of the regulations required to prevent such a bacteria from entering space, this could mean that as our species develops the ability to travel between planets in the commercial world, the chances of a deadly mutation occurring grows dramatically. It could very well be within our lifetime that a terrible mutation occurs and more than half of the population of our planet becomes infected, which will only drive chaos, destabilization, and the eventuality of the end of our world. Thermonuclear warfare. After the invention of nuclear arms, concerns regarding the complete annihilation of ourselves and our planet have been a pressing concern for experts and government officials from around the world. Most academics regarding the matter believe that not only is the possibility incredibly high for nuclear warfare to occur within the next 100 years, but that we are closer now to a nuclear strike than we have ever been before. Given the recent advancements made by North Korea and its nuclear ballistics missile testings, armed with nuclear warheads, and mounting pressures over recent negotiations regarding nuclear treaties between the United States and Russia, this could very well mean that the nuclear scare of the Cold War are more than coming back in the modern age. It is often claimed by many people from around the world that they are not concerned by these nuclear tensions as they do not exist within the borders of the United States, China, or Russia, and they believe their own country to not be at the center of any potential nuclear strikes. Unfortunately, this is not the case. In an effort to prevent any country from making attempts at using nuclear arms, the program titled Mutually Assured Destruction, or MAD for short, was developed. This program accurately maps most high-density cities from around the world, regardless of the country, and enforces that if one nuke is ever fired, every nuke would have to fire and strike everywhere from around the world. This means that even if you reside in a neutral country, you can still expect for a nuclear strike to hit your most populated cities. The reason for this is that if everyone has something to lose from the use of nuclear weapons, this will help to get all the countries from around the world on the same page and make efforts to prevent their use from ever taking place. Though this might work in theory, there are more than enough instances of countries and terrorist organizations that do not care if they are at the center of a nuclear blast, and tensions for the use of nuclear weapons only rises. Stephen Hawking's warning of extraterrestrial life. Before his passing, the great theoretical physicist Dr. Stephen Hawking wrote about his fears of extraterrestrials and their existence. He believed that an alien visitation would be similar to that of Christopher Columbus visiting America, which led to pandemics, famines, and genocide. This could very well be a real possibility, given the fact that many reports and sightings of extraterrestrials include clandestine operations, which insinuates a possible secret agenda. Even the head of the Pentagon UFO research team declared the existence of UFOs a threat to national security that, even with the most advanced technology of the Department of Defense, still can't be stopped. If an advanced alien life form came to our planet, we would be caught with our pants down, and without any means to defend ourselves from total annihilation. Until we take the threat of extraterrestrials seriously, every day we are flipping a coin on whether or not humanity survives to the next day. Asteroid Strike 2135. Known as Asteroid Bennu, this large celestial body is on a direct collision course with Earth, of which we should expect to arrive exactly on September the 21st, 2135. Though this arrival might be a long way away, the effect of its destruction makes the asteroid a serious issue that requires technology to be worked on immediately to prevent this issue from wiping out all life on our planet. In fact, NASA is currently designing plans and preparing for this event with a serious tone and a budget to match. Current designs on the plan, including building craft with the advanced ability to perform deep space drilling that can drill into the core of the asteroid and deploy large amounts of nuclear warheads to break off the large piece of space debris into much smaller and more manageable pieces that will burn up in the atmosphere. Given its speed and its trajectory, it looks, however, that even with a large arsenal, budget, and development in specialized spacecraft, the human race will only have one shot to make sure the mission is a success. Otherwise, it could mean the end for life on our planet as we know it. But what do you all think of these end-of-the-world predictions, and what are your theories as to how we might face catastrophe? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.